Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Lady Simone. If you don't know, now you know. I'm gonna show you guys how to do your customized wig cap if you have a pea-sized head like I do, because I really have a pea-sized head. So and on top of that, my hair is completely gone, so I don't have any like hair to like fill out the rest of this cap. So I'm gonna show you guys how to customize your own cap so that way your lace frontal can fit perfect every time. I'm going to put the wig cap on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It goes over my ears, and it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to fit like this. But as you guys can see, there's like, you know, gather, and it's like, you know, too big. So what we're going to do, I want it to sit comfortably on my head, so I'm just going to honestly just take it and make sure that your ears are comfortable. I want to make sure that my ears are comfortable. And literally all we're going to do is take some scissors and just cut. And I'm not going to cut too much because I still want it to have a little room, but we're going to cut straight across like that. So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and flip it inside out. So it's gonna look like this, and we're gonna go ahead and switch. Actually, I'm gonna cut a little bit more on the corners. And I'm going to switch to my mannequin head so we can begin sewing this part. So you have your mannequin head and you have this big gaping hole. So you're just going to take your needle and really just sew the hole together. Literally just that simple. Like, sew the hole together. It's not gonna be hard. Just sew it together. And you want to make sure that you're taking your time doing this. You don't want to rush and, you know, not sew properly. And if you get a gather, just take it by the thread, or take it, you know, insert the needle and just, you know, sew it together. If you're doing this with straight hair, you really want to make sure that you don't have any lumps in your cap. And you want to make sure that you're not sewing too close to the edge, but, you know, so it doesn't, you know, snag or tear at the edge. You want to make sure that you're getting pretty, you know, close to, like, not the edge, if that makes sense. Hope it does. You guys see what I'm doing though. So now I'm coming to a close to this part right here. So I'm just going to continue to sew, and I'm going to kind of flip that over, flip that little piece over. If you guys can see, I'm going to flip that little piece over and sew it down flat. You were standing with a bottle of red wine, ready to pour, just in long black satin, lace to the floor. Go over it till you run out of thread, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. See how that like gathers up when I let it loose? Do the same thing, pull it taut, pin it. And you can cut this piece and sew again so it'll be even flatter, but I'm not doing that. And on top of that, this is curly hair, so you really won't see that gather like that. And I'm sewing this one backwards because I'm like, I don't know, I'm realizing that it might, you know, I don't want it to like get in the way when I'm, you know, with the frontal. So here is the stitching, you guys. It's a lot flatter at the top, obviously. And this little doll here just won't fall off, so there's the stitching. Flip it inside, outside in, inside, you know the right way, dang. Yeah, let's see what we're working with right now. Okay, so we are running into a tab problem with the frontal is going to be right here. So I am going to actually turn this around because I don't want there to be any issue. And it's a tiny bit big, but I want it to be that way because, you know, just to give me a little bit extra room to, because I like to sew inside the band as well. So that's just going to add extra tightness for me. So it's actually perfect for me. So if you do, you know, decide to do this method, you know, you don't want the frontal, you don't want this right here to be, you know, where the frontal is. So it's nothing wrong with turning it the other way around.
So pretty much what you guys are seeing here is I did some markings on where I should sew my lace front, and I will link the video in the cards for you guys to see of how to properly do that in more detail. But what I'm doing here is I'm just placing the frontal on the markings that I've made. And I'm going to also try to make sure that they're even on both sides, making sure that I have a little bit on each side, a little bit of the frontal touching the band on each side, so that way I don't have so many issues when it comes to basically having my wig to have a little bit more form, because my frontal does not go all the way down to the wig cap because I have a pea-sized head, and this is the purpose of making the video. So you want to make sure that you're trying on the frontal each and every time, so before you actually sew down your wefts, to make sure that you don't just, you know, make any mistakes. It's important for you guys to do that. And I'm just going to go ahead and begin sewing. And I'm doing a blanket stitch method. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube for you guys to learn how to do a blanket stitch method. And I had to sew the frontal on at least 2 or 3 times and try it on to make sure that the frontal was laying as perfect as it possibly. Like I said, you guys want to make sure that you're taking your time when it comes to this part, because the frontal is the most important part when it comes to doing a frontal wig. You want to make sure that it is sewed down properly. It's not sewed down too far. I just did not double my wefts with this because the track band is a little bit more thicker than what I'm used to, but that's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing. And all you guys see me doing here is just basically sewing. I actually do sew through the band because since I have a pea-sized head, and on top of that I don't have really any hair to catch onto it, I want to have as much security when it comes to the tightness of the band. I hope that makes sense. So I do sew through the band. If you're making a wig for someone else that has a normal size head, I would not recommend doing this. So just an FYI. So at this point, I am showing you guys my old wig from Kiss, and I am going to basically undo the band at the bottom, not the band that that secures the wig, but I'm going to undo the band that I basically had to sew together towards the frontal, if that makes sense. And I have to do this to my wigs because, as you guys saw, my frontal does not go all the way down to the elastic band like a normal 13x6 frontal does, because I have to cut my frontal because my head is very small. So as you guys can see, I am cutting the band that normally basically keeps the wig in shape and keeps it in its form. I hope that makes sense. I really do hope that makes sense. But I'm just cutting that away so you guys can see how right here the wig does not have any type of shape or whatnot, and it would normally be like this once I get done making the wig and cut the band from under the wig cap. So I have to sew it towards the lace front.
She fits real snug, y'all. Like, she fits really, really snug. But I am getting better at making lace wigs, and pretty soon I would want to start making wigs for other people. I want to make sure that it is perfect, because it's one thing if I mess up my head or mess up my weave, but because I can always finesse it, but not everybody is always gifted when it comes to finessing things. So I literally just start from the middle and go right here, because it's easier to pin this side a little bit. It's easier to pin this side better versus, doing the whole head and then you having to try to wrap the scarf in such a way that just does not look good. So I'm just gonna, do the same method that I always do. So that is pretty much it, you guys. For more information about this hair, it will be in the description. as well as the other video that I did with this hair and, you know, reviewing this hair. I really do love it. I have got a little bit more shedding. Then again, it is curly hair, so you do have to, if you did like this video, make sure you thumbs up this video. Make sure you guys comment down below on what type of videos you guys will want to see. Make sure you are subscribed to me, as well as follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.